Man, there's a bunch of them in there.
They seem to like it. I guess they have good taste.
You're just going for it, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, normally I would, but there's sizable. There's like 10 of them in mine.
Well, you let it sit too long, and that's what happens.
The pipe.
All right, it's the morning, and we're gonna go pick my buddy Gene up, pick the boat up. My buddy Kev's coming over. We're gonna load some gear up, and then we're gonna head off to the bay. It's gonna be I'm excited. All right. What's going on, brother?
What's happening?
This thing was like $30, but it was like for so long, it's like I just never spent time to invest in the things that I probably should have been investing in, you know? Out of all the boats I've owned throughout my life, this is the first one I've ever had just a legit, stable, spare tire setup on.
Yeah, and they are fairly important.
Yeah. That's even after I had, you know, the little aluminum boat that I had before this, blow a tire on the freeway, and my grandpa had to come pick me up, and his way of teaching me was just screaming at me the whole time. As you can see, this is what we're working with, right? So we can make multiple trips. I got no problem with that.
Oh, dude. Is this the one you bought in Florida?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Towed this thing all the way from Florida.
Dude, nice.
Just to get out there, all of this bow right here can just be loaded down with gear. You know what I mean? So I'm not worried about that. It'll get us there. Get to the campsite, unload it, and then if we want to drive the boat around and go fishing and stuff, we'll have more time to do that. So,
Okay.
Sweet, man. Yeah, so let's just throw your cooler in there.
All right.
You got ice in there already, or do we need to get ice?
There's ice in there.
Okay, sweet. All right. Phase 1, I had to throw in something with salt water.
And gale force winds.
Well, the gale force winds, the gale force wind warning came after I planned it, right? So that's why I spent like so many days trying to think of a backup plan, and I really didn't have one. And that's what it came down to, right? Was like, hey, this is gonna fucking happen. And I didn't really have a conception of like what gale force winds in a skinny little saltwater bay would look like.
Yeah, my backup plan was a life jacket, and I was hoping I didn't have to go to plan B.
All right, this is where it's gonna get a little dicey. Yeah, well, I'm moving right now. Just hop on when you can. Yeah, come on. I don't really know how much I'm supposed to put, so I put a lot.
That's the best way.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the monster,
Shane,
dude.
you get this one.
Look at that guy. Oh, look at that.
Does it taste like poop?
No, it tastes great.
Does it taste like a mussel? Like,
Yeah. It tastes, maybe. I haven't had mussels in a long time, but it tastes very tender, which makes me think maybe undercooked? I don't know though.
Maybe slightly.
But they're nice and salty.
I don't think they're bad.
No. Let me get one of these big ones.
Yeah, I felt like I could eat these.
Dude.
That's it, man.
They're-
That's it.
That'll work.
Morning, Kev.
Morning. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, damn, he's ready.
oh, that guy knows karate. Come on, let go, dude.
Yeah.
How did that flick work for you?
That kind of hurt.
All right, attempt number 2. Gene, this will be you up on the right. Maybe. It's either this one or the next one. I'm like,
This one looks red.
it's 50-50 right now. Actually, I don't know.
Oh, there's some.
Okay, let's, yeah. Phase 1 of the trip, success, right? Like I would call that, I'm glad we pushed through whatever the unknown of gale force wind, small watercraft advisory was and did it. I think that was a huge win.
The only thing I would change, I wish that we knew some sea shanties or some fisherman tunes that we could have been singing while we were
Yeah.
bringing in our crab pots.
A little further. That's good.
All right, now you gotta hurry up. You got like 2 minutes time, you gotta hurry. Phase 2 was like, okay, we're gonna go into hardcore fly fishing. But how do I show that to you successfully, with you being from Montana? And I was like, well, there ain't no striped bass in Montana. That's good to go. We're not really like finesse fishing for striped bass. You know what I mean? Like they're not line shy. And these full sinking lines really help you get down out here on the Delta. So they're a little harder to cast sometimes, but they essentially put you on an even playing field with like all the tackle fishermen. You're almost at an advantage sometimes in my mind when you're fly fishing for striped bass on the Delta.
See, the stripers just now showed up.
Right.
They should have been here a month ago.
Yeah, and last
And
fall
the
they were
reason
almost
they're-
non-existent.
The reason they're not here because there's not the food here. That's why they're staying down in the bay where the food is.
And it's crazy because this is a beautiful estuary, but we just don't manage our water right. Like, you know what I mean? So I know they're like I understand they're not native to the West Coast, but I love having them here,
Oh, absolutely.
and I think a lot of people do, but I don't think that we treat it as a
It was
As
the
such.
best game fish we had for the opportunities.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
You get your fall runs, your spring runs.
Yeah. Yeah. Big runs twice a year. You can catch them in the saltwater. You can catch them in the rivers. You can catch them in the lakes.
Catch them on the beach.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And it's a shame that like we haven't treated them, you know, with the respect that they deserve. When the fishing gets rough, it's time to eat lunch. I usually don't do these cold, so I feel like it's not gonna be,
Don't work.
but it's kind of like a, kind of one of those deals where you fold them up and fry them up.
Shoots me right down to the ground.
Just imagine if it wasn't soggy. In which
I can
case,
see how these would be
yeah, in which case it'd
real
be
tasty.
a little tasty, a little morsel.
Well, that's just fine. I think I went through 4 sunscreen applications before we actually started catching fish.
Yeah,
But I think that it was,
that was
when we started hooking up with them, it was like, okay, all this hard work paid off at the end.
that was my perfect day, because we got into them early. We caught a few early on, and then it went dead silent, and we were working, and we were working, and we were working,
Getting beat
and
by the wind.
we went through half a tank of gas. We were getting beat by the wind. You know, you saw damn near half the Delta. That's a 1,200 mile estuary. We saw about half of it. You know what I mean? At least the whole Sacramento side. And we worked and we worked and we worked. And just when even I was getting pretty beat down, we found him again.
A double! A double! Oh! We'll never know.
Okay, that's a little bit better one. What is it? It just got real little on me all of a sudden.
It's coming pretty quick.
Yeah. And oh, there's a bigger one chasing him. Again. Again, well, getting good. Oh, I want some to the boat so bad. It's not even that big, man. Squeeze their belly. Sperm comes out. You know they're a male. If not, they're a female. Look at that.
That's a nice fish.
I mean, she's pretty. I'm in that like crazy mode where I can't call it a day. All right, just left the dock. It's an early one. I'm not a morning person, so anytime we're on the water before the sun comes up is too early for me. We got the resort geese screaming at us in the background. We found them yesterday, and we decided to come back out here early today. Hopefully we're right where we left them. We lost light last time, so.
Good timing on that jump there, big fella. Did I catch myself and then we wrapped around each other?
No, I think we just kind of caught each other. There's yours. There's mine. You know, surprisingly, that's the first time that's happened to me.
Cool.
You're a bona fide bass fisherman now. It hit hard for a little guy. Yeah. There we go. The double. Well.
Give that guy a lip, man.
Oh, let's see. That was cool.
That was awesome.
All right, that's it for the Delta. Next step, trout camp. Okay, so we did the saltwater beach thing. We did striped bass on the fly. And then to end the trip, I decided to take you to the trout club. And this is where I was taking a little risk, right? Because the first half of the trip was all about things that you couldn't do in Montana. And I knew that taking you to a trout river in California would end up being a direct comparison of what you can do in Montana.
Mm-hmm.
But I that was kind of with purpose. That was to show like, hey, we can do that shit here too.
Yeah.
Nice and tight. There you go, just like that's perfect. Perfect. Ah, come on. All right, you can let her go. Ha!
Fixed it.
That is the first big win of the trout camp.
I don't know why, but I refuse to buy any type of shoe that actually fits me. And regular shoes and wading boots. And I don't know if I just really love being miserable or I just wish my feet were smaller. But every pair of shoes that I own, I wish they were a half size bigger.
Yeah, that's a little too deep for me. Frustrated.
I'm glad I put on sunscreen before we went out.
If I could get rid of any natural phenomenon, it would just be wind. Like a world without wind.
Mm-hmm. I'll take the volcanoes, I'll take the earthquakes.
No. Rule number 1 at trout camp, always have a growler. Yeah, cheers.
See how long you can. Oh!
Look, you're not gonna beat like the Madison, the Missouri, or my favorite, the Gibbons. But we got it here too.
And every piece of water is different in its own right. I mean, you could spend
Yeah.
a lifetime fishing 3 miles that way and 3 miles this way.
Yeah.
And you still would not be the absolute perfect fish catching machine. So it's always nice to be on new water and see new patterns and new riffles and new spots where you know there's a fish sitting there and you can perfectly cast, put that fly right where you want it, and the fish doesn't take it. And tomorrow that fish might take it, but today you come up empty-handed.
That's it, man.
Yeah. This was a good trip, and this trip was never about the fish, but it was also only about the fish.
Yeah. Like the fish
It's
drove.
It's an excuse to do the things and build camaraderie and spend time with people you care about. If it wasn't for fish and fishing, lots of people would not be friends.